name is Stephanie Rios, and welcome back as we have yet another fun activity to do with you today. Today's activity is going to ask you to reflect on what you know about the wetlands. Right now, I'm standing next to one of the 6 wetlands we have here in Watsonville. This is Harkins Slough. Let's take a minute to relax our shoulders, clear our minds of anything we have going on today, and focus on the sounds and sights of Harkins Slough. For today's activity, you'll need 2 paper cups, 1 aluminum pan, 6 sponges, a pencil, marker, and some water. Let's begin. There are many functions of a wetland, but there are 3 things wetlands do that are especially important in our community. In your own words, are you able to tell me what a wetland is? Everyone has their own way of describing a wetland. I like to say that a wetland is land that is wet, full of water at certain times of the year. For this activity, the sponges will represent the wetlands. 6 sponges to represent each of the 6 wetlands we have here in Watsonville. Now, have you ever wondered where the wetlands get its water? Wetlands are wet because of precipitation. Precipitation, rainwater that falls onto the city, which means that we have fresh water in our wetlands and not salt water, like the water in the ocean. Think mosquito fish and not jellyfish. Think western pond turtles instead of sea turtles. The kind of water found in our wetlands can tell you a lot about what kinds of animals live there. The first cup will represent the rainwater that falls from the clouds as precipitation. So we're going to fill up this cup with some fresh water from the tap. I have some tap water right here. I'm going to fill up my cup all the way to the top. Perfect. So the rain falls from the sky, falls onto the land, maybe on our city sidewalks and streets. So the pan, the aluminum pan, is going to represent the city of Watsonville. Here we have all the land and concrete that we have around us. Some of the water that comes onto the land gets soaked up by the plants, and the rest of it moved down into what are called storm drains. Storm drains. I'm going to use the marker to draw my storm drain into my pan. I'm going to draw it right kind of here towards the bottom. Just a nice square drawing of a storm drain. A couple of lines to represent the grape. You may have seen a storm drain before. They're usually on the sides of curbs or in parking lots, covered by metal grates so that large items don't fall down into them. All storm drains in the city of Watsonville lead to either the wetlands or the Pajaro River. Okay, so let's say it rained and all the water came down from the clouds, fell onto our city, flowed into the nearest storm drain, and out to the nearest wetland. What happens to all the water that the wetlands are holding on to? For me, I think about the sun and evaporation. The sun heats up the water in the wetlands and turns it into water vapor. That water vapor leaves the wetlands and goes up into the air as condensation. Condensation, when the water vapor changes back into liquid to form the clouds. The rest of the water that doesn't evaporate flows out into the Monterey Bay, the ocean. So we're going to make a small hole using our pencil at the bottom of the pan, right in the middle, to represent the flow that goes out to the ocean. So I'm going to use my pencil to press a hole right in the middle. poke. Perfect. The ocean will be represented by our last paper cup. It's a good idea to keep a towel on hand, as sometimes the flow goes out kind of crazy and can get a little messy. So let me show you what I mean. All right, we're gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wetlands into our city. We're gonna put the cup underneath the pan, and here we go. Here comes a really big storm. What do you notice? I noticed that the rain came from the clouds, flowed into the city, and was collected by the wetlands, and all the water eventually made its way into the ocean. Let's imagine that the city of Watsonville started to grow. All small towns tend to grow when more people move into the area. More people mean we need to build more houses. To build more houses, we need more land. So after some discussion by the townspeople, we will remove half of the wetlands in the town to build more homes by the wetlands. Let's see what happens now that we have removed, let's say, Struve Slough, Watsonville Slough, and West Struve Slough. So we removed 3 wetlands. Let's change our cups, and let's say a big storm is coming. What do you notice? I noticed that the rain came from the clouds, flowed into the city, and was collected by the wetlands, and the water eventually made its way into the ocean. But something was different this time. Did you notice it too? There was a puddle that built up by the wetlands. It's like the same amount of water fell from the clouds, but the 3 wetlands could not do as good of a job collecting that water as it did when there were 6 wetlands, like we have today. A few homes that were built close to the wetlands experienced some flooding. A flood is when the water covers land that is usually dry. So a few homes were damaged, but they rebuilt and all is well again. More people living in Watsonville mean more restaurants, supermarkets, stores, roads, and parking lots to build for all of those cars to get around. So after some discussion by the townspeople, they discussed and decided that there was no need for any wetlands at all. They do not expect another big storm to come, and so there isn't any need to have any of these wetlands. So away go Gallion Slough, Hanson Slough, and even Harkin Slough. Change our cups. But here comes another big storm to Watsonville. What do you notice? I noticed that the rain came from the clouds, flowed into the city, but was no longer collected by the wetlands. All this water coming down at one time flooded the storm drain, and water started to flood the homes, roads, and businesses full of water. With no wetlands, anything that was left on the sidewalks and the streets got swept away with the storm and flowed straight into the Monterey Bay, the ocean. Can you think of a couple of things that you see on the streets and sidewalks that don't belong in the ocean? I can think of a few. Trash, doggy poop, and oil from cars. All things that without wetlands will flow straight into the ocean. Let's go back to the beginning. There are 3 reasons why wetlands are so important to our community. 1. Wetlands are homes to many plants and animals. 2. Wetlands prevent floods. And 3. Wetlands help filter the water, keeping yucky things out that flow down from the city out of the Monterey Bay. There are many benefits to keeping the wetlands we have here in our city. They are a big part of our community, And if we remove them, we lose those benefits and suffer the consequences. Bringing them back just isn't an option once we replace wetlands with homes, roads, and businesses. So take what you've learned today and share with your friends and family why wetlands are so important. Show them how the wetlands help prevent floods and keep our community safe. For more information, visit us at www.watsonvillewetlandswatch.org. See you next time.